Closet, a Todd Mills Mystery. Book 1. Author R.D. Zimmerman. Publisher Scribble Pub, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Narrator Eric Ost. Chapter 6. "What the fuck's this all about?" barked Roger Locker, the managing director at Channel 7, as he stormed into the conference room. "Our own Todd Mills and shit up to his neck? This is too fucking unbelievable. I just can't believe it." Cindy Wilson couldn't either. Not even this morning. There she'd been, just doing her job, taking a hot tip and reporting on a murder. It was going to be the perfect Crime Eye segment, live too, right on the late news. And then Todd comes darting in, screaming this and that, making it perfectly clear to the entire universe that he was gay, and the police haul him off and keep him for questioning. Way weird, she thought, lifting a paper cup of coffee to her lips. She glanced across the broad table and saw the two others, Mark Buchanan, who'd caught it all on camera, and Brad Lewis, who'd taken the original call, looking equally lost, equally worried, and with good reason. Shit was going to be flying over this one for a long time. Locker, who was overweight and bald, always shouting about something, always angry at someone, now dropped into a chair and threw the morning's paper onto the table. Look at this! Of course, they'd all seen today's Tribune right there on the front page. It wasn't the main headline. This week's turmoil in Russia continued to be top news, but it was still plenty big. Award-winning reporter arrested in gay murder. As if that weren't enough to ruin anyone's career, there was the photo. No longer the hunk smiling down from the freeway billboards. This morning, the Twin Cities were greeted with the big front and center photo of the Twin Cities' own favorite guy, Todd Mills, being dragged toward a cop car, and the quote, "Dear God," the quote, "Michael Carter was my lover." That certainly was enough to derail Todd's stellar career. Everyone understood that automatically, and the fallout was definitely enough to damage all of Channel 7. "What I want to know is, where the hell did the paper get this picture?" demanded Locker, surveying the group gathered around the table. "Well," when he failed to receive the desired confession, he prompted, "did one of you give it to them?" There was a grumbling, some shifting, but no reply. Cindy looked right at him. "I really doubt that anyone here at Channel 7 would do something like that." But the others were looking down, each in his own way looking guilty as hell. Or, she wondered, ashamed. Could someone have sold the photo to the Tribune? Sure, she thought, either to spite Channel 7 or as an affront to Todd. "Well, I suppose it doesn't make any difference," began Locker, shaking his head. "But it's a disaster for Todd. As some of you are aware, we were just concluding negotiations with his agent regarding the anchor position on the evening news. At this point, however, that's obviously on hold. My main concern at this point is damage control for Channel 7. Locker took a deep breath, held it, and then exhaled loudly. Then he started laughing. He quickly ran his right hand over his bald head. "What the hell am I saying?" he continued. "This is already a catastrophe, an incredible one. Oh my God, I wish I could say I've never heard of anything like this. But it's almost as good as OJ, except, of course, Todd isn't as famous." He shook his head. "I've been talking with a lawyer this morning, and he's been talking with Todd's lawyer. As of this morning, Todd Mills has been suspended with pay. I don't understand what happened, who did what, or what any of this is about, but our official position is that we're 100% behind Todd, depending on what the police and their investigation turn up. However, that could change any minute. Is there anything else any of you can add?" Cindy cleared her throat, volunteered. "It happened just as I told you on the phone last night. Brad got a call in the control room and came charging into the Crime Eye office. But the caller had already hung up after calling the police. That's parts on tape, by the way. And paging Todd. Mark and I headed out at once. Todd didn't answer his page and didn't show up, so I started the segment. The rest is pretty much all there on videotape. You're right. I was at home watching the news like everyone else, and I saw it." Locker shook his head. "It was pretty incredible. In fact, if this had happened to Channel 5, I'd be laughing my ass off." He leaned forward, lowered his voice, and asked, "So, Todd's really a homo, is that right?" What about him and that lawyer? The one he always brings to the Christmas party? What was her name? Janice. Janice something. I thought those two were an item. So did anyone know about this? I mean, did he tell any of you? Was I the only one in the dark? The room was painfully quiet, and Cindy sat back. No way did she want to get into this one. Locker turned to her and demanded, Didn't he ever talk to you about who he was dating? No, actually he never said anything to me about his personal life, she replied. And I never asked. Mark, did he ever say anything to you? No. But you worked the most with him. Hell, you were probably the closest to him of anyone here. Didn't you just have him look at that house you put a bid on? Yeah, but... But... Come on, Mark, you must have known he was gay. Frankly, it never crossed my mind. There were always women after him. Brad, I just work the control panel and switch the cameras. I don't think about those things. He was quick to add, Sir. Locker pounded the table. Well, his agent is in deep shit. His private life is his own. But this is the kind of thing management has to know about. A scandal like this can sink a station. He was silent for much too long, and Cindy thought, Here it comes. The other shoe. Dear Lord, she wondered. Why hadn't she just been a nice weather girl on that station in Detroit? Well, I met with the president of the station this morning, and for now, the Crime Eye segment is postponed. All of you will be assigned to different projects for the time being, said Locker bluntly. Depending on what happens with Todd, depending on what kind of publicity there is, well, we'll just have to see where we go from here. If you think of anything else, know anything else, come to me right away. And remember, no talking to any of the other media. Clear? Gotcha, Chief, replied Mark Buchanan. Brad? Not a word, sir. Cindy? Sure. Cindy cleared her throat and ventured. But you know, we could have record viewership tonight. He looked at her. What? This is pretty juicy stuff, isn't it? Of course it is. Well, you were the one who said this was like O.J.'s case, so... She looked at the others, trying to ascertain if they were behind her, too. A lot of people are going to be turning on the evening news for the latest. Either they're going to get it from us, or... The other guys, added Mark Buchanan with a grin. Exactly, said Cindy, nodding. I mean, we're all curious as hell as to what this is all about. Locker rolled his eyes. I know I am. People want dirt, and they're going to get it somewhere, so they might as well get it from us. I hear what you're saying, Cindy, said Locker, nodding slowly. And you're absolutely right. Any ideas? A few, Cindy replied, even though she had none. Okay, then. You were in on this whole thing right from the start. Meet me in my office in 30 minutes. With that decree, Roger Locker blew out of the room. Well, shit, thought Cindy, as she and the others began to get up. Todd Mills might have sunk his own career, but she certainly wasn't going down with him. Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.